Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Thompson with Dynamic Chiropractic Clinic of Bellevue, and the reason why we're shooting this DVD today was to give a reminder to our patients after taking our healthcare class on the stretches and exercises that they can do which will help them get through their care faster, and then when they're done with their programs of care, they'll know how to take care of their spine afterwards. So this will is used as a quick reminder to them, and for them and their family members who want to help take care of their spine, they can learn some things as well. So the first thing I want to talk about, we'll go through and show the spine, show what's normal, show what's abnormal, and then we'll show you what you need to do in order to make it normal again. Thank you. Okay, this here is a plastic model of a spine, and what I want to show you is normal and abnormal. This is basically how we're born in our mom's belly. We're born with a C-curve, okay? And so what happens as we're babies, we want to be able to see where we're crawling, so we start to look forward, and what we do is we develop a curve in our neck. Then, about the age of 9, 10, 11 months, we start to get to the point where we can get into things and we start walking, and as a result of walking, we develop another curve in our low back for our lumbar spine. This here is what normal curves are. A normal curve in our neck, the curve that we were originally born with in our mid-back, and then a curve in our lower back. And you can see the lower back curve and the neck curve are exactly the same. This position here produces the least amount of tension on your nervous system and your spine. And it actually makes your spine 10 times stronger as a result of it. When we lose normal position of our spine in our neck, or we lose the normal position of our spine or low back, it puts a lot of tension on our spinal cord and causes lots of different health problems for people. So what we want to do in this office is what we do is we adjust the spine or misalignments to help create that normal position and function back to the spine, and as a result of it, reduce the tension on the spinal cord, and then the body has a better chance to heal and adapt to the environment. So a lot of the stretches and exercise that we show you help complement the adjustments that we're doing so that we get the adjustment that goes back towards normal position as well as the exercises. And those two done in conjunction seem to get the best results in this office. Okay, in the normal standing position, what happens is it's very easy to hold the normal position of our spine, meaning the normal neck curve and the normal low back curve. But what happens in today's society, since we're working on computers, we're driving on commutes, we're playing video games, it's basically become a sitting society, and as a result of it, that's when we start to change our curves, and when we do that over a repetitive amount of time, it develops problems. So just to show that, basically, when I'm standing, you can see that my ear is basically over my shoulder's over my hip. When we sit, let me show you what happens just as a natural result of it. When I sit, watch what happens to my ear in relationship to my shoulder. So I'm standing now, and I might exaggerate a little bit, but just a little bit. Essentially, when we sit, can you see how my ear comes in front of my shoulder here? Basically what happens is, in the spine, we lose that normal curve in our neck as a result of it. And most of us don't have chairs that are tilted forward like this, so we don't hold that normal low back curve. What we do is we actually lose it as a result of sitting. So if you imagine when I sit, I lose my normal low back curve, so what's happening in the spine here is you're getting a rounding out of the low back. Like I said, 10 times weaker than when it's like this, which is 10 times stronger. So everything that we do is we want to combat that. Basically what happens is on the front side we get a real shortening of the muscles into the pecs, and on the back side we get a weakening because all the muscles are turning off. And so we'll stretch everything that gets tight, and we're going to strengthen everything on the back that gets weak. Most people understand the importance of posture. What I want to do with this segment is just give you some facts and figures about posture and how it relates to health. Some people, they realize the importance. Some people are like, who cares? Just to give you an idea of how important posture is, here we go. This is from Companji Physiology of Joints, Volume 3. For every inch of forward head posture, it can increase the weight of the head on the spine by an additional 10 pounds. This one here, deviations in the body's center of gravity caused poor posture, which related in intestinal problems, hemorrhoids, varicose veins, osteoporosis, hip and foot deformities, poor health, decreased quality of life, and a shortened lifespan. This comes from Freeman, which is Posture in the Aging and Aged Body, from the Journal of American Medical Association. This next fact comes from the Mayo Clinic, 2003, November 3rd, and this is what they deduced. Quote, forward head posture leads to long-term muscle strain, disc herniations, arthritis, and pinched nerves. The next point I want to make is this. This comes from Dr. Roger Sperry, MD, who won the Nobel Prize on brain research, and here's what he quotes. 90% of the stimulation and nutrition to the brain is generated by movement of the spine. This would be analogous to a windmill generate electricity. He's basically making the point that function and movement of the spine is absolutely crucial for our brain to live, because that's what it needs to feed off of. So chiropractic care induces motion into the spine, which is analogous to a windmill generate electricity for the body. The last thing I want to leave you with, which I found very important, is Dr. Brigg. He's a neurosurgeon who also won a Nobel Prize. And here's what he quotes. This is what they quote him saying. Loss of cervical curve, which is a straightening out of the neck, stretches the spinal cord 5 to 7 centimeters, which may not seem like a lot, but it's like from here to Bremerton in the spinal world. It stretches the spinal cord 5 to 7 centimeters, and it causes disease. So is posture important? Absolutely. Are you healthier with better posture? Absolutely. Okay, the first stretch I want to show you is called the pec stretch. Probably the most key factor with this stretch is to have your elbows above 90. What happens when the shoulders get rounded forward from that sitting position is that brings and shortens down what's called the pec minor. The pec major is a big muscle here. Pec minor is a very small muscle underneath and right real close to the clavicle. So what we want to do is we want to stretch that out to allow our shoulders to come back so that our head can sit on top of our shoulders better. So Tanya here, I'm going to have her, you can go to a corner here, or you can do it in a doorway, and I'll have her show it in the corner. So Tanya, what I want you to do is put your elbows above 90, and go ahead and step in another step forward, and have your elbows actually lean against the wall there. And what she's going to do is now just lean in, what she's doing is keeping her head in a normal position here, and then she's going to hold this for 30 seconds. Okay, where she should feel this is on the top here, not down on the lower half. So right there, do you feel it there? Mm-hmm. Great. And what you should do is hold this for at least 30 seconds. Anything less than doesn't really stretch the muscle. And then you release. And then do this just 3 times, morning, noon, and night. The next thing I'd like to show you is what's called a strengthening exercises, and I call it the wall W. Essentially what happens is we've already stretched out the pec, and now what we want to do is we want to strengthen the muscles on the back that have been weakened. And so to do that, we must do what's called an isometric contraction of those muscles, meaning those muscles are contracting, but nothing's really moving in our body. What I want to do next is I want to do the wall W exercises, is what I call them. And essentially these are exercises that are going to strengthen the back, because those are the muscles that are being turned off as we're positioned forward. Okay, so Tanya, I'm going to have you do this. The most important key with this is that the elbows stay below 90 on this one. And you'll see what she forms here as a wall W. Go ahead and do the wall W. Now this, a little bit high, so bring your elbows down. And you can see how she forms the W here, okay? And what this is going to do is, what she wants to do is now take her arms, she wants to push them back towards the wall and hold that contraction for a good 10 to 15 seconds, okay? And where she wants to feel it is right between the shoulder blades. Can you feel that?
Yes.
Okay, great. Once again, you do this morning, noon, and night, and just do it a couple times each time. What this does is it stimulates every postural muscle in the back to turn on those muscles that have been turned off from poor posture. The next exercise I want to show you is what I call the pigeon chin. And essentially, if you think about how a pigeon walks, their head will come out and then their body follows afterwards. Their head comes out, their body follows afterwards. Essentially, that's what we're going to do for an exercise for the neck. Essentially, when your neck gets straightened like this, what happens is we need to start to, in order to get this lower portion of the curve to curve back and buckle in, we have to strengthen these deep neck flexors so it'll pull it down, as well as stretch out and strengthen the upper neck muscles. It's a really complicated structure. So where you want to feel this when we do this exercise, you want to feel the contraction almost underneath your throat, and then you'll feel a stretch behind the back of your head here. So the way to do this is to be in a normal position. You bring your head forward and then glide it forward, and you're going to glide it back, and you're going to hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds, and you're going to